Hello and welcome back to Chasing the Target. And we are very close to the end of the year. This year has flown by, and we thought we'll discuss all the cricketing action in this year and pick three teams from each format for Team of the Year. I'm waiting for Fez, my co-host, who will help me out in that. I think we'll be reviewing the Cricket for Teams of the Year. Whoever has joined us, thank you so much, and put in your teams, your moments of the year, how you enjoyed the cricket in 2022. For me, honestly, it was about T20s this year, like because all the focus was on that World Cup. You had the Asia Cup before that, and then the T20 World Cup in Australia. So it was mostly T20, which was very engaging. You had the IPL in from March to May. In terms of one-day cricket, there wasn't too much focus. Agar aap dekhe to, like mostly it was the T20s. One day now in 2023 will be the main thing. A lot of teams, they didn't play their full strength in one-day bilateral series or tri-series. It was the focus was on T20s and Test matches, of course, with the World Test Championship coming up with the final. So there was not too much focus on one days. In Test cricket, it was about baseball and how England revolutionized Test cricket, especially in that summer where they beat New Zealand, India, and South Africa. So from Test matches, I remember that very, clearly. And then from T20s, of course, England winning the World Cup. In the Asia Cup, Sri Lanka winning. That was a surprise. Everyone had India, Pakistan in that final, but it was Sri Lanka versus Pakistan. So that was a pleasant surprise from that. And so Sri Lanka coming up, I think Bangladesh, a slow revival, Afghanistan with some surprises as well. It was a good year for these kind of teams. So India was a very disappointing year. We'll discuss more about that, but it was they haven't won a title, and some heartbreaking losses. From Pakistan's point of view, they reached the final. It was so close yet so far for them. There have been improvements in the limited overs, but at the same time, they weren't able to cross the line. I think that Asia Cup would be more disappointing than the T20 World Cup, because T20 World Cup at one stage they were knocked out and they just came out of nowhere into the final. And there's been some great individual performances this year also. For me, the one which stands out is that Virat Kohli sensational innings at the G. That was something I haven't seen, and it was a remarkable innings, stellar innings, and 100,000 people. We had Rohit Bhai joining us a few days back, and he was saying that he was there at the ground and the balcony was shaking there at the MCG. And those sixes of Haris Rauf is something that will be forever etched in our memories, and something that we'll never forget. And it was one of the highlights in 2022. Of course, you want a trophy as your highlight if you're an Indian fan, but it was something to cherish for sure. Um, and yeah, from England's point of view, Sam Curran, his improvement, the way he's starred for them and done so well for them this year in the T20 format when no one really expected it, that was, I think, a big sign of improvement. It was the year of wrist spinners as well. Apart from India, Pakistan had Shadab. He bowled really well in the limited overs in the T20s. We had what's his name, Adam Zampa from Australia, Adil Rashid from England, Hasaranga from Sri Lanka. He played a major role, and a lot of these, especially Hasaranga and Shadab, they also contributed with the bat and had some vital contributions for the teams. And for me, it was that's the thing. A lot of focus was on the T20s as compared to the other formats. But from Test matches, if I see, it was the year of England, because even T20s was the year of England, because they just changed Test cricket. They had a lot of wins, and just the way they played was very entertaining in both those formats. And we didn't have maybe a Gabba kind of game this year, if I can think on top of my head. But overall, it was a year remembered for the way England changed Test cricket. And from close games, I think for me, it was that Sharjah game. I watched it live. Afghanistan versus Pakistan was at the ground. That was probably the best game that I saw at the stadium. On TV, of course, it was the India Pakistan at the G. There's no way you could beat that. But Afghanistan versus Pakistan was a great game. Naseem Shah hitting those sixes at the end to break Afghanistani hearts. But it was a stop and start, a heart-stopping game, and you didn't know which way the match was flowing. And similar to the India Pakistan game, the India Pakistan, actually it was Pakistan one way, and then suddenly Virat Kohli snatched it from them. So yeah, of course, that was a thriller as well. And just the crowd, the occasion, the World Cup, that probably tips it as the best game of the year. Like, and overall, I feel if I look at it from just watching it at the stadium, that Afghanistan Pakistan game was next level for me. Just waiting for Mr. Faiz Tahir to join us, and we can go through the teams. I think he's there. He's coming. Still waiting. Are you ready, sir?
Yes, sir. I was listening to your poem, Zabardast. The way you It summarized the entire year, the calendar year of 2022 बेहतरीन तरीके से, जिस तरीके से आप बोले, it was the year of England and 100% agreed कि भाई इंग्लैंड जितना revolutionize करे अपने टीम को, जितना हर फॉर्मेट में they worked harder and harder and sort of changed the temperament and the templates that were set from a long time. But
Hmm.
yeah, completely agree with you that the way England has outshined all the teams.
Yeah, and you have the teams ready. So these are from Cricinfo. Basically, we'll be reviewing them and seeing what changes we would like to make. And it's all three formats. Will go T20s, one days, and test matches. So first, this is first the T20 team, if I'm not mistaken. And as usual, if I look at it, sorry man, I was just trying to play with the background, but I guess we'll keep it like this. Yeah, if I look at this team, Josh Butler, winning captain, outstanding year again. And the fact that everyone was talking Owen Morgan, bhai, like how is he going to be replaced? Butler is no Owen Morgan, and Butler lost the T20s in the summer, the series to South Africa and India, if you remember, at home in England. So there was a lot of criticism about his captaincy, that he can't live up to the Morgan legacy and all that. But he ends the year with the championship and some great innings, in particular that India match semi-final comes to mind. But overall, Butler has been outstanding. He had a great IPL also, if you want to consider domestic. And
Yeah.
for me, he was the best batsman. He's so good. And the comeback of Alex Hales, those two at the opening slot. You're okay with that, or would you like to change it up?
You can't change the captain, winning captain, like not yeah, winning captain of the T20 World Cup, man. And like you rightfully mentioned, man, he got 100, he got everything in the bank. He's been consistent in T20s. अगर अपन पूरा calendar year भी देखे अपन, he's got 60s, he's got 70s, 50, 80s, man. He's got a lot of runs for the team. And considering that was his forte, and now he's not been involved in the test team as well. I think he's done justice to that role as a captain, and he's surely against India, so he shined, man. And I think rightfully he's there along with Alex Hales. We know Alex Hales didn't wasn't that much for me. I think you would agree with me that Alex Hales जितना अपन expectations थे Alex Hales से उतना खड़ा नहीं उतरा. Comparing it to Josh Butler, but yeah, Alex Hales obviously destructive and in the format. But yeah, your thoughts on Alex Hales?
Yeah, I mean, it's a resurgence for him. Outstanding. If you just look purely numbers, you probably consider Rizwan because he scored a lot of runs. But again, they lost that Asia Cup final, they lost the T20 World Cup final, and that's why maybe he misses out a place. But Alex Hales, no one expected him to come back like that. And some vital innings, the way he, opened with the Butler, it was good chemistry. There was no Jason Roy, of course. He was taking his place. No Bairstow. So he had some, he had to fill in some big boots, but he did that beautifully well. And you didn't really miss the players that England actually didn't have. In the absence of Bairstow, in the absence of Jason Roy, and all these guys, he just stepped up to the plate. He did his job and got out of there. A funny interview with Sky Sports when Owen Morgan was also there. He was very cold because it was Morgan who had dropped him and made sure that he wouldn't come back into the team as long as he was captain because of that bar fight and all that. Like, and it was a really good comeback, and he's been very consistent in leagues all over the world. So good to see him and perform like that. It took me by surprise, but he still got it, man. 33 years old, 33, 34, and played really well. One down, Riley Rousseau. यहाँ पे अंशुल Mishra is saying Virat Kohli at number 3. It shouldn't be Riley Rousseau. I mean, Rousseau had a brilliant 100 in England and in
Yeah.
India, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, Again, he was somebody who was scored big. He had 100 in the T20 World Cup also, right? So he had big hundreds throughout the year, and that's the reason why probably Cricinfo chose him, and they put him in the thing. Virat Kohli, you can easily keep him in the team just for that one knock against Pakistan. He did have 100 against Afghanistan as well, but overall maybe there's not too much to split if you just look at
Yeah, I
numbers.
think even IPL wise, if you go, because by reviewing the entire calendar year, I think even IPL wise, Virat Kohli was not the most informed batsman at that time. So I
Yeah,
think
it was.
considering those things and the entire calendar year, not just specifically the T20 World Cup, yeah, I think you might just have to ask the king to like take a side.
Yeah, no, I think is the overall. If you're looking at the whole year, Virat Kohli came into life in the last few months. That Asia Cup, that game against Afghanistan, and then I mean he got the runs. If you look at it, he was very consistent. And then it was that match-winning knock against Pakistan, which makes you want to put him in this team. But I guess that this is why
Yeah.
they went. I would put Virat Kohli just for that one innings because that's the
Yeah, but
best thing.
like purely T20 mindset से जारी cricket fan, I really agree to that fact. I think अगर T20 specifically अपन देख रहे हैं, Virat Kohli hasn't been the most consistent. Yes, that Pakistan thing changes it for us because we're emotionally attached. और
Yeah,
अपने
that's
को
true.
जरा अरे भाई वो तो अपने बिल्कुल लगान की जैसी setting थी, आके अपने को he gave us redemption from the Iftikhar blows and everything. But yeah, apart from that, like Virat Kohli T20 specifically, IPL was very disappointing for me. मैं बहुत उम्मीद लेके लोगों से लड़ा कि भाई विराट कोहली भाई हर उसमें मारने वाले 50 है वो, but yeah, he wasn't coming to form. Like you said, Asia Cup. Prior to that, he started to find his form. So I think अभी के हिसाब से this is like the right shout.
You're going right. So and then there's no debating number 4. Surya Kumar Yadav has probably the best
He's on the
batsman.
he's on the poster, mate. He's on the poster.
Outstanding, kya mara yaar. And I also remember in England that 100 he made in a losing cause, but he kept India in that big chase, and that was an outstanding innings for me. That was the best innings. I know they didn't win the game. If they won it, it would have been incredible. Lekin, in English conditions, full stadium, it was great to watch that match. I really like that innings that Surya Kumar played, and overall he's been outstanding, Mr. 360 for India. World class innings this year, and he's been the best batsman without a doubt. Unlucky, he didn't get the support to take India across the line, and in that semi-final he got out to Adil Rashid, but you can't expect him to score every game. I think he was doing that. He was very consistent, whether it was in the Asia Cup, not Asia Cup, in bilaterals, in World Cup, everything. Surya Kumar was just on fire, man. Kya innings the. Some shots that he played were ridiculous in every conditions, in India, in West Indies, in England, in Australia. Kya shot na khela.
Yeah, definitely यार उन्होंने T20 मैच आई थिंक कितने की सेंचुरियां मार दिया, न्यूजीलैंड के अगेंस्ट मारा, एक इंग्लैंड के अगेंस्ट मारा, एक डिलाइटफुल प्लेयर आई थिंक जस्ट केम late to the stage, but when he's arrived he's taken his time and he's completely mind blowing innings from him. He's one of the most reliable players in a T20 match. I know thoda 19-20 रहता with his shot selection and situation करता, but you're one of those who back करते तुम, वो unexpectedness, वो risk factor तुम बहुत ज्यादा back करते. I know for a conventional Indian fan, ज्यादा लोग उसको नहीं करते, करे भाई ने आड़ा है, ने कभी भी मार देता, ने कभी भी आउट हो जाता, लेकिन उसकी कंसिस्टेंसी अगर आप T20 में देख रहे, 1500 रन है यार, 175 की स्ट्राइक रेट पे, उतना ही बस है, न्यूजीलैंड को फोड़ दिया, इंग्लैंड को जैसा बोले फोड़ दिया. I think he's one of the best right now, and he's a complete T20 format player for Milan.
Yeah, and
hopefully, in going forward, ODI maybe he's already got a century, but hopefully we see something from there as well.
He is someone that South Africa, Webu de Villiers, England have Butler. Like India didn't have this kind of player जो हर तरफ मार सकता, scoops भी खेलता, और जो shots मारता ना, you say अब्बा how did he do that, right? Throughout the year when you see his batting, you're like, wow, man. And just the timing incredible, shot selection incredible. He has 3 shots for every single delivery, and he blew our minds, man, this year. He's been outstanding. Like I said, unlucky not to finish the year with a trophy. You need a team in that, and unfortunately he didn't get the required support, but he has been outstanding. Also in the IPL, his team didn't do well either, though. In terms of trophies, he'd be very disappointed because he's a team player, he wants his team to win. But overall, if he looks at it just from an individual perspective, it's probably the greatest year that he'll ever have in international cricket. Hopefully he'll have better, but just like it has been the perfect year in terms of individual records. He's been outstanding, man.
Yeah, as like his season progressed, 2022 T20, while if you see, he's got confidence every game. Like he's been more confident, even if he's getting out like on a 4 or a 0 or a 6, it's not hindering with him. उसका mind divert नहीं हो रहा, उन्हें continue कर रहा अपने approach, उन्हें change नहीं कर ले रहा, उन्हें ये नहीं बोल रहा क्या करे, ये एक बार नहीं चला मेरे लिए, मैं दूसरी चीज ट्राई करूंगा. हाँ, शॉट्स 1000 है उसके पास, उसमें थोड़ा बहुत यू कैन से कि हाँ भाई he doesn't know what time to take what shot sometimes, but उसका जो अप्रोच है वो चेंज नहीं हो रहा, and that's something that I like. He's believing in his in the way of his batting, and rightfully so he should continue it because he's getting rewards.
100%. And then followed by David Miller, again someone with a resurgent year, out of the dead, like out of nowhere. 10 साल पहले मेरे को याद है मिलर पंजाब के लिए मारता था. There was a game against RCB, but apart from that, Miller, recently has not been the part. But this year, whether it's been the IPL or for South Africa, he's been incredible, man. The way he's finished off games in T20 cricket, outstanding, and it's killer Miller back this year, whether it's international or domestic.
I was lucky enough to see him live. Unfortunately, it was against our own team, Hyderabad versus Punjab चल रहा था. भाई जो
this year? No, before.
No, a few years ago. I think the year we won, or the year before that, one of those years. भाई उन्हें जो कड़ला मारा है, I mean his bat, पहले तो उसका bat lift, उसका pace of his shot, भाई next level है, अलग power है. Yeah, bat speed. आप बाहर तक आवाज जाती है आपको. And the ball you can hear, it's like आपके बाजू से कट बोल के जा रही, इतना दम से मारता है bat speed. But yeah, his complete package, man. If he gets going, I think South Africa can seriously keep him for another 2-3 years आराम से. But yeah, it's just the consistency factor with him was something that was lacking, and he's definitely got that back.
या मतलब उन्हें मेरे को याद है आईपीएल में तो खतरनाक खेला था, जबरदस्त फॉर्म में था. इज वन ऑफ द
He used to
रीजंस व्हाई.
chase down matches. Remember, he used to chase down the
या
matches. Impossible दिखता था. अरे अरे किलर मिलर शुरू हो गया था वो बीच में. किलर ही
या
कर दिया तो.
I know, and there's been a gap since then. जब 10 साल पहले उन्हें मार रहा था, after that there's been a gap, and then now this year he's come back. You know, he's been outstanding, been very consistent. He's also improved against the short pitch ball. I felt that थोड़ा उसको problem दे रहा था पहले. He's really improved on that. उसको मुंह पे दिया तो उन्हें फोड़ देता. If you give him in the arc, he'll
Yeah.
smash it. But he's improved his game against the short delivery this year, and it's you've seen he has more shots now because he can play the pull better, the cut as well. And yeah, he just had an incredible year. Even for South Africa, some fabulous innings. I remember against India also, he's been
Yeah, 100.
outstanding. I think he got 100 right in one of the
Yeah,
matches,
100. He
or
got 100 in one of the
yeah.
matches. T20
Yeah,
match, I think.
yeah, I think in South Africa lost that game, लेकिन उन्हें फोड़ के रख दिया था. तो Miller rightly so in that team. I cannot disagree with that, but I disagree with the next one, man. Hardik
I know.
Pandya.
I was waiting for that because
Bro,
Mustafa
because
Bhai.
IPL count नहीं हो रहा इसमें. Men's T20 team of 2022. Is this counting IPL? I don't think this is counting IPL, bro.
I will have to
This is
check with the
international
officials.
cricket. Huh?
Yeah,
This is
we'll have to check
international.
with him.
Alex Hales थोड़ी खेला IPL, like RS Rove कहाँ खेला IPL?
Yeah. Yeah, so it's
Mr.
not.
Hardik Pandya over there, बोलो.
Hardik Pandya, for me, I mean, he is a complete player. He can bowl, he can bat, but I mean, yeah, with what you're coming at and from where you're coming at, consistently saying that, he's injured maximum number of times, that doesn't justify his spot because his
He
impact
picked
even
up
in the
28 wickets, so maybe that's one reason scored 1,000 runs. So he has stats backing him.
But like, I think it's because of the like patches में अपन देखते हैं उसको उन्हें consistently throughout तो खेलता नहीं बेचारा because injury भी रहती है उसको and stuff like that, and most of the times like we just he's either injuring or partying or somewhere, but yeah, I mean 1,000 run and the 28 wicket,
I
it is
think
good.
the
But
thing is, in between, India bilaterals were very strong.
and I think
Even
one of them,
आयरलैंड भी मारे थे, इंग्लैंड में भी मारे थे. इसमें हार्दिक पांड्या के contributions अच्छे थे. तो if you're looking at bilaterals, yeah, I mean, I guess he can fit in the team.
bilaterals के अलावा मतलब I think I know you might not agree, but match winning performances भी काफी है boy के.
Yeah, मैच विनिंग वही, मगर bilaterals में सेमीफाइनल में उन्हें he tried to do match winning मगर हार गए वो मैच बहुत 10 विकेट से. So he did perform in that one game. Apart from that, this World Cup was I don't remember too much from the World Cup. He was good with the ball. With the bat, apart from that semi-final, I don't remember too much from Hardik
हमारे को
Pandya.
जो भी ज्वाइन करे भाई आप अपना भी ओपिनियन दो. we're just going through it and we're also giving opinions. आप भी शेयर करो. just Anshul bhai asked for Shadab Khan का है.
We'll get to that. I saw that question. We'll get to it when we get to the spinners. I was saying Shadab instead of Hardik, but then 3 spinners ho jate. So you have to look at the balance of the squad as well. So I think Hardik and Sam Curran as your medium pace all-rounders, I guess that works. And Hardik, if you look at his stats, it does back it up in that way. Personally, I feel that he should have done better in both big tournaments for India. So maybe that's why I'm just more disappointed, more salty. Lekin,
the next one is going to be one of our favorites.
I don't think there's any point talking about him. He is just incredible. Sam Curran, for 495 runs, but those wickets, 46 wickets average of 19.6, economy of 7.8. He's just outstanding, man. Whether it was bilaterals, whether it was World Cup, whether it was anything, this guy was incredible this year. And the surprise pick for everybody. No one thought Sam Curran will be the leading guy in England's
in
bowling.
In Australia as well.
Australia. I mean, everyone's saying Archer knee. This man stepped up, and this is why even if you miss big players, you miss a Jasprit Bumrah, you need to have backups ready. You need to train yourself like that. It's okay to miss big players. We have backup ready, and Sam Curran, outstanding.
Next guy as well, man. Yeah, he's a fine spinner as well and an all-rounding batsman. Bhi acha hai. I mean,
Asia Cup final.
Asia Cup final plus abhi LPL maybe he's been performing well for his team. T20 World Cup में LPL. हमें जितने भी इनिंग्स देखे अपन पिंडा लेकिन जितना भी न्यूज़ पढ़े करे
I'm saying for to make the team, it is more based on his international performance.
Yeah, but I mean like consistently he's been performing throughout the year. Abhi it's going to be interesting to see him even in the IPL RCB के साथ again. India भी आ रहा है अभी तो he's going to be a very big threat, and yeah, for me he's perfect one. He's turning out to be a perfect all-rounder.
Yeah, I think you're right with the bat. Also, his some vital contributions. I was there at the Asia Cup when they were 5 down. The way he batted, outstanding, man. He was backing away. He was getting to the pitch of the ball. Good, puller of the short delivery. Anything in the arc, he was hitting it and rotating the strike very well. I was very impressed with him and his bowling as well. Watching it live, he has a lot of variations. It's difficult to pick him and very consistent, accurate as well. And he knows how to use subcontinental conditions to his advantage. I think he was really good. So Hasaranga, no question there. With Rashid Khan, would you have stuck with Rashid Khan or maybe given Shadab, who reached a final, two finals this year?
No, I don't think I would go with Shadab Khan for me, because Rashid Khan is your game changer at any point of time. Shadab Khan, yes, he's a good bowler, he can bat as well, but he's inconsistent, right? अगर अपन बी बीबीएल के बेसिस पे नहीं बोलेंगे, चलो ठीक है, आप वर्ल्ड कप में भी देख लो, अफगानिस्तान को ने सिंगल हैंडली उन्हें कब 2-4 विकेट ऑस्ट्रेलिया के अगेंस्ट लिया, डरा दिया. ही इज ऑलवेज गोना बी गूगली स्पेशलिस्ट. He can bat in the end. We've seen n number of IPL innings in Gujarat Titans that he had helped them to sort of get to a 160 150 score, and then he was the one who takes the wickets in the beginning. अगर पिच टर्निंग है भी उन्हें खतरनाक है, अगर पिच स्किडिंग भी है तो उन्हें खतरनाक है, यार. फॉर मी राशिद खान 80 विकेट्स यार, कैसे आप निगलेक्ट कर दे.
I was just considering Shadab Khan because of they did reach finals and big games. He performed really well, and I just feel is outside option. But I agree, Rashid Khan and Hasaranga, it's difficult to take both of them out like that. थोड़ा सा मुश्किल है दोनों को निकालने के लिए. But Shadab,
the thing with, I'll tell you the difference between Shadab and Rashid. Another one for me is economically, Rashid Khan is one of the most economical bowlers. Right? He doesn't give away a lot of runs. That is what you need. Even if he doesn't pick up wickets, he will save you those runs.
And the thing is, he has wickets also to argue that point, so it's difficult to get Rashid out of the team. With Shadab, I remember that the performance against South Africa, that was incredible, man. Especially Pakistan were on the ropes, one loss away from actually getting out of the tournament, but he kept them alive, even though we thought they were dead. He kept them alive, and they kept going, and some incredible performances from Shadab, some really good spells. Even against Zimbabwe, that match he bowled well, just that the batsman couldn't chase it down. Some good performances from Shadab. Maybe unlucky to miss out, but Rashid Khan deserves a spot as well. And then Haris Rauf and Josh Little. Josh Little, man, he's won an IPL contract as well. That just goes to show the year he's had is a really good year. Again, you're looking at stats, maybe you might say he didn't play against the bigger teams, this and that, but in the T20 World Cup also is very impressive. We saw him pretty quick as well. And Ireland did pull up a few upsets, right, in the World Cup. So Josh Little played a vital contribution to that. So you might say, "Arey, usko kyun liye team mein cricket for wale?" But he deserves his place. Look at 16.
बिल्कुल नहीं. आई डोंट थिंक क्वेश्चन है. एंड आई थिंक जिस तरीके से उनकी मार्केट में अभी वैल्यू बढ़ गई है, आईपीएल में भी उसका ट्रांसलेशन देख सकते हो. उन्हें आईपीएल की टीम में आ गया. आई थिंक द फर्स्ट आयरिश पर्सन to get into the IPL, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if
Sterling nahi khela hai. Yeah, I don't know.
Not Kevin De Bruyne. What's his name? Kevin O'Brien.
Kevin O'Brien bhi nahi tha IPL
yes,
mein.
He played as well, I think.
No, so I think this guy, that's fixed, and he has hitting ability. He's picked up 59 wickets, man, and he's an all-rounder. So I think he's always going to be crucial. And like you mentioned, Ireland की team was looking so strong in the beginning. जब अपन like वो first round खेल रहे थे, ऐसा लगा कि भाई आयरलैंड कोई अपसेट कर देंगे. ऑस्ट्रेलिया के अगेंस्ट भी अच्छा खेले. So they played good in crucial matches as well. And
इसको हराए थे वेस्ट इंडीज को या श्रीलंका को, किसी को हराए थे उन लोग बड़ी टीम को.
वो नमीबिया था. Remember first I think नमीबिया या स्कॉटलैंड था, and then Ireland beat I think वेस्ट इंडीज को हराए थे. वेस्ट इंडीज का फर्स्ट मैच जो हारे थे वो upset.
This guy, and pretty decent pace, man. Decent pace, gets the ball to swing. I enjoyed watching him bowl in that World Cup. But overall, he's had a very good year. They've had some series. India have also gone there. Over there also, he was impressive at times. And he did pick up wickets in the power play consistently. So, yeah, Josh Little in the team. I think for you, the only change you would make is Haris Rauf out and Naseem Shah in. That's what you want, right?
Yeah, for me, Haris Rauf, after Virat Kohli destroyed him, I think psychologically he was not able to get out of that. Despite Haris Rauf having the experience in Australia, मेरे को थोड़ा और उम्मीदां थे उससे. Apart from that, for me, Naseem Shah is much more economical in a 20-20 over match. When you compare it to Haris Rauf.
Man, Naseem Shah bowled in the final. If that
he only gave 4 runs, yeah. He
If he
only
picked up
gives
Stokes
for
in
him.
that spell, bhai, world champions रहते थे Pakistan. वो incredible spell था. That's where I also changed my mind because I've seen Haris Rauf play live this year. I was very impressed with him. Whether it was Sharjah, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, he was very consistent. लेकिन Naseem Shah, that spell we watched, man, that final, the T20 World Cup final,
Yeah, that was amazing.
and also I saw
And
Naseem Shah against India where he bowled Surya Kumar Yadav. I was at the stadium there. Kya ball tha. Like I seen him on TV in Test matches, but I never saw him live. And Naseem
raw,
Shah's
yeah.
pace really, really impressed me.
Yeah, he's raw, man. Like that's the best thing about a 19-year-old, not scared of anyone. He's damn good, man. Like, so Chirag Bhai has an interesting pick, and I mean, I love that guy as well. Chirag Bhai says Sikandar
Sikandar
Raza in
Raza,
place of Hazaranga. That's a big call, man. Because in
I would
terms
take
of
Hasaranga, man. I
yeah,
mean,
because Sikandar Raza is wayward. I mean, he does get that one-out wicket, but that one-out wicket is always a big one. I do
no,
understand Chirag
I
Bhai's
mean, there's
point of
nothing against him. उन्हें single handedly जिताया Zimbabwe को काफी games उन्हें bowling भी जबरदस्त करा like against Pakistan and everything. You know, he got that below sea level delivery. But me, Hasaranga, man, was outstanding. I saw him in that Asia Cup, the just world class, man, and he contributes really well with the bat as well. I would say Sikandar Raza is probably a batting all rounder and Hasaranga bowling all rounder, so there's slight difference. Lekin man, Hasaranga was outstanding. Uh, Prajwal Joshi, thank you for joining us. Saying bowling looks pretty weak. I mean, you may be saying that because of you looking at Josh Little and thing, but look at look at his figures. Even in the T20 World Cup, look at Sam Curran, incredible at the death. You have the death bowling covered over there. You have Haris Rauf.
yeah.
He can pick wickets in the middle. In the beginning, you can swap him in Hardik Pandya at the death if you want, and then Rashid Khan Hasaranga. Where will you get runs from there? थोड़ा सा मुश्किल है from there. So it's a good bowling attack, and this is also you have to see that they actually performed all these players. Maybe you would like to see someone else like.
And let us know who you would pick in place of the bowling. We
For
would
example,
really like to hear as well.
For example, if I put Bumrah there instead of Josh Little, if Cricket Info did that or we did that, you would say what a bowling thing. But Bumrah did not perform. He didn't play half the time, right? He wasn't there.
Exactly. Yeah, this is basically 2022, man, the performance of the year. And I think Prajwal Joshi, I would really like to know, like, what would your ideal bowling, squad be? Based on 20. Yeah, based on performances. Ireland beat West Indies in the last match of the first round. Yeah, exactly. That upset was there, and then West Indies had to go back home. But yeah, they had a lot of other problems despite the loss.
Saranga's bowling was pretty already in Super 12 matches. Might have been, I can't remember exactly what his figures were. Lekin, he's won a trophy this year, and no one expected Sri Lanka to win that trophy. And he was in that final, that with the performance with the bat, they were like 50 for 5, 60 for 5. That partnership he put on, and then with the ball, the way he bowled in that final spell, Pakistan was still in it with Rizwan and everyone there. He came and he finished it. Hasaranga, he was outstanding, and no one expected Sri Lanka to win a trophy. And he did that. So I would probably go Hasaranga, but Shadab is very close, man. You can pick Shadab as well, but for me Shadab Hasaranga, that trophy is the splitting thing for me. With Rashid Khan, doesn't have a trophy. Like in what Faiz said, kind of you have to agree. I can still put Shadab instead of Rashid, but Rashid is the economy plus the wickets plus he can also bat like Shadab, so it's not that big of a thing. You know what I was thinking? Shanaka, like if he had a better T20 World Cup, I would have had him in the team, because Asia Cup, man, the guy impressed me so much against India. The way he bowled, the way he did the field changes and the bowling changes, and the way he batted in that Asia Cup, incredible, man. I remember the variations with the ball in the field. He was very active. He was moving his fielders around, and his captaincy, batting, bowling really impressed me in the Asia Cup. If he just had a better T20 World Cup, I would have put him instead of Hardik Pandya.
Yeah. Prajwal says any fast bowler from Pakistan. Yeah, I mean there is Haris Rauf, but I would go with Naseem Shah, Prajwal, to be honest, because for me Naseem Shah is right now the best. I think Shine is injured, so with respect to that, for me Naseem Shah is solid, 19 years old, but a lot more mature than like Wasim Jr. and all of these guys. Mark Wood, yeah, man, Mustafa, Mark Wood को नहीं डाले ना, but Mark Wood like अभी हाल में in last 4-5 months he's been coming up, right?
Like number of games कम थे उसके, इसलिए final में उन्हें खेला नहीं. There's a lot of times he was injured. Pakistan series में भी उन्हें selected games खेला. Josh Little played consistently wherever he played all the time, and he kept Ireland in these games. He helped them beat the West Indies, and they knocked out the West Indies. So he's contributed pretty well. Ireland beat England as well, right? In the T20 World Cup, it was Ireland who
Mm,
beat England.
yeah.
Faz, why are you not looking confident? It was.
I'm not sure. That's why I'm just trying to
No,
remember.
no, it was Ireland who beat
It
England.
was, I think, was it like Sterling who hit a 50? I'm just remembering.
Yeah, but even there, yeah, Josh Little had a contribution. So he
Hmm.
bowled really well, man. And you have to look at the team that he's playing for, and those stats: 59 wickets, outstanding. I know some of them were probably against Zimbabwe in the bilaterals and Afghanistan and all that. Like, he's had a really good year, so it's tough to call that way. And then when you say Prajwal Bhai, when you talk about Hasaranga and Shadab, it's that, man. It's the trophy which splits it for me. Bhuvi with the new ball too was exceptional, except semi-final and 19th over, but almost every game. He cost you a lot of games in the 19th over. In the Asia Cup in particular, I remember I was there. He cost a lot of games. So you have to have the overall package as well, right? Yeah, he was exceptional with the new ball. Like, and thing you can say Arshdeep also. Arshdeep was very good at times. At the death, he was really good as well. Magad
Yeah,
at
but then he
70.
got smacked also. Yeah, like we were coming to that point. Yeah, he got smacked also, and like that is what it is. I mean, it's just about the consistency factor, and I think with these bowlers, I don't know about Haris Rao. I'm still on the fence with Haris Rao, but like apart from that, I'm like sort of.
Haris Rauf was very impressive. It's just you remember those two sixes and you change your mind, right? It's the wo jo game tha, and like rightly so. Like that game, Pakistan should have beaten India. They had the game by the scruff of the neck. They had it in total control and that over. But then you have to give credit to Virat Kohli. It's not Haris Rauf. Why do we keep looking at those shots? Not because it was a full toss and he just spanked it. We looked at it because it was a good length delivery, good slow. This guy's slower ball, and he just right in front, of the side screen, like right behind the bowler. That shot is just incredible. And then the other one, he made a movement and slapped it like through square leg. So it was the shots, it wasn't the bowler which was bad. So you have to
Yeah,
give
I
more
guess.
credit to that, and that's why I can justify Haris Rauf in this team. And he's been very good in the new ball. He always got Pakistan a breakthrough. Even if you look at the Asia Cup, even the World Cup, whenever they needed a breakthrough, he would provide that. And then in the middle overs, he was always that first change bowler, right? So whether it was just late in the power play or even in the middle overs, he mixed it up well. And death overs, apart from that Virat Kohli innings, he was outstanding.
Yeah, Ibrahim, I confirmed that England was actually defeated by Ireland,
Yeah.
and it was DLS. Yeah.
Riley Russo don't deserve. He didn't perform except Bangladesh 100 and T20. But I'll just show you what Ibrahim's Bhai's comment from here, Vinesh Bhai. It was 96 against England and 2 centuries, one against India, one against Bangladesh in T20 World Cup for Russo. So he's scored some big knocks, like he scored some big innings over there. Whether he doesn't deserve is debatable. Definitely, you could add somebody else there. Of course, you can have your opinion. वैसा नहीं है कि भाई यही है best 11 just because someone put it like that. That's not the case. Lekin the reason why he's there, the reason we can give you is the strike rate is 170, and that includes two massive hundreds and a 96 in a winning cause as well, right?
Would
So
you take out Riley Russo? Sorry, I'm sorry. Would you take out
Australia
Riley
can
Russo?
listen.
Sorry, yeah, go ahead. I'm so sorry. Yeah.
No,
Go
no,
ahead.
bolo. I'll tell you after.
No, no, would you take out Riley Russo and put a Sikandar Raza there?
Sikandar Raza.
Sikandar.
No, then
Yeah.
again, like one down, my Sikandar Raza, I would put him at, if you want, in place of Miller or Hardik Pandya. That's his role. And again, it's difficult to do that. But for Riley Russo, one down, you can put Virat Kohli if you want. Lekin again, it's about
Yeah, true.
how you want to look at it.
Mm.
How you could go either way. You could put Virat Kohli there because he has the numbers. Plus, he has one match winning, like incredible match winning inning. You can add two if you count the Afghanistan one, even though that was a dead rubber. But Riley Russo, that strike rate, man, is very important in T20 cricket. Plus the runs, 1,400 runs. If you look at that combination, it's a very lethal combination. So
But
that's
shocking
why.
enough, yeah, shockingly, there's no Australian player in the squad.
Because they were
Considering they are
terrible, man.
terrible,
They
yeah,
were
they were
terrible,
very bad.
and they had some incredible players, and they got knocked out very early. Again, Virat performed very well in T20. What about Hardik? Deserve it? Look, Hardik, I would have gone Chanaka, but the thing is, Hardik has the numbers. बायलैटर्स में
Yeah.
जबरदस्त खेला उन्हें. मेरे को अब याद आ रहा है कि इंग्लैंड में भी उन्हें अच्छा करा, आयरलैंड में भी अच्छा, उन्हें कैप्टन भी था. Whenever he got the opportunity, he performed. And this is not even considering IPL. He won the IPL, so that's even a
करके
bigger
आ गया
plus.
वो करके आ गया
लेकिन yeah, like मेरा वो खुद का वो है. But Hardik thing, Virat Kohli, you could arguably put him in the team, but like Faz going Riley Russo because of the big hundreds and also because of that.
96. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was the T20 team.
Amma,
Moving on.
let's go
Next
quickly to
wala.
the one days.
टेस्ट का
एक
आ
बार
गया
कर
विश।
लो, नहीं वनडे कर लो फिर टेस्ट कर लेंगे.
जैसा आप बोले सरकार. Yeah, so
Go
okay,
through
I'll
it. Your
go with.
boy is there now. Go through it quick.
Yeah, Travis said ODIs, yeah, 550 runs, 68.7. Shubman Gill, boy, Shubman Gill क्या boy है. बाबर आजम, श्रेयस अय्यर, टॉम लेथम, सिकंदर रजा आ गया भाई. For people who are missing सिकंदर रजा, मेहदी हसन, मिराज, अम्मा, ये तो हार्ट अटैक है इंडिया को ODIs में. अजदारी जोसेफ having very good year with the ball. मोहम्मद सिराज definitely जबरदस्त. Adam Zampa and Trent Bolt. So from
Ba-
this thing, yeah, who do
बाबर
you
से
think?
कैप्टन से खाली हटा दो. That's it. Otherwise, everything is good.
Yeah, who would be captain but in this team then?
Tom Latham.
But yeah,
But yeah, Babar, man, look at that average. 84, bro. Oof, incredible average over there. Travis Head is a surprise for me. Those numbers are
yeah,
incredible.
yeah,
Shubman
I
Gill
didn't even.
again. He's had a good year. But look, one thing I would say about this, why there's some new faces and everything. A lot of people didn't play the full strength squads in one days, so that's why
Yeah,
it's these guys who played and these guys who were consistent. Whether it was in Zimbabwe, whether it was England, wherever it was, these guys played more consistently. The big names didn't play too many series for all the teams. That's why you see a Travis Head there, you see Shubman Gill there. I think Babar is a rare thing. Shreyas Iyer again, his numbers
got a
have
lot
been
of
really
chance.
good. The short ball
Yeah,
is still an issue. It will always be an issue until he fixes it. Yeah, that's why you see players like that. Sikandar Raza, I think that 100 against India, was it 100 or it was big innings against India in
yeah, yeah.
Zimbabwe?
The one you almost bought it home, right?
Yeah, he got
Yeah,
Zimbabwe home in that game. That was an
it was a
incredible
hundred. It
innings.
was 100, I think. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it was
remember.
100. Mehdi Hassan, the proper finisher, he was incredible in that India series, but also in the bilaterals before that. Mehdi was really good with both bat and ball. I'll keep him in the team. Those two were probably the surprise picks this year. Sikandar and Mehdi both had incredible years. Azari Joseph, really good pace. He had some good spells. Siraj was good at the death and with new ball in power play in particular in one days, very good. If you remember that West Indies tour, even in Bangladesh with the new ball, he was very good. Adam Zampa, incredible man. This guy is a really good spinner. And Trent Bolt, although he's going to be like more of an T20 league player now, but he's done really well for New Zealand over the last 5-6 years. Man, he's been incredible. And again, he had a very good year.
Yeah, सचिन भाई saying सचिन भाई saying suppose अगर स्काई की बिड होती है तो कितना अमाउंट मिलता है 360 करोड़ रुपीस. He's 360 player man. That guy का बिड नहीं लगा सकते भाई, बहुत महंगा जाता है
20,
उन्हें.
25, 26 उससे ज्यादा जा भी नहीं सकते शायद. 25,
Yeah,
26 मिल
yeah,
जाता
I
मतलब.
guess. I think yeah, he'll be the most expensive अगर
अगर
मिलने को आता.
उन्हें अगर था प्लस दीज गाइज देन ही वुड गेट द बिगेस्ट बिड. बट देन अगर सब है फिर बंडल में फिर वो स्प्लिट हो जाता बिकॉज पैसे में आपका लिमिटेड डिपेंड्स आपके पास पर्स कितना है और प्लेयर्स कितने अवेलेबल है. अगर सब सारे ऑप्शन हो रहे तो देन इट डिपेंड्स. बैटिंग लुक्स
चिराग
टू
भा-
शॉर्ट.
Batting looks
1 2
short.
3 4 5 6 7. I mean the battle Mehdi. Yeah,
Yeah,
थोड़ा
the
सा
battle
maybe.
Mehdi Siraj भी थोड़ा. नहीं, Zampa can also bat. No, Zampa doesn't bat. No, Zampa's wayward.
Not really. Yeah, you
Yeah,
could
so
say,
like
but then again, like you're looking at the performance this year. These guys are the ones in these positions. They perform the best in terms of numbers. Also, yeah, you maybe like if you had a spinning all rounder or a fast bowling all rounder, that could have helped a bit more. A fast bowling all rounder, I would say, because you already have Sikandar Hasan, Mehdi Hasan, maybe like a Ben Stokes type player, but Ben Stokes is retired from one days. But that type of player. If he was there, like a Hardik Pandya, if they had a good year, you would put them in the team. But their numbers
yeah,
didn't add.
Alzari can also bat is what Vinesh Bhai is saying.
I can bat, you can tonk it here and there. Like
Ibrahim Bhai has a good point. He said Vander Dusen in place of Latham. Maybe just because Latham's a wicket keeper, that's why does he get the spot.
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe the wicket keeping, and also, I know Vander Dusen has been very impressive. But if you look at Tom Latham's number, they haven't been bad at all, right? Like he's averaging 55. He's got 558 runs. 13 catches, 3 stumpings. Of course, he provides as the wicket keeper, and also he has that experience. Tom Latham. Today, I really enjoyed his innings, even though that was test match. Like, he had a decent tier, though. You could potentially put Vander Dusen. I mean, it's up to you how you would want to look at this team, but this is why they probably went Tom Latham.
Any changes you would make, Mustafa?
When in one days, honestly, there wasn't too much one day cricket. I mean, there was one day cricket, like we didn't pay attention to it as much. So, like from the top of my head, this looks okay. Like maybe you could bring in Vander Dusen. Who else? I mean, it's tough to say. Maybe from India. I mean, from India, you already have 3 players, so that looks sorted. I think it's okay. I would just see if there is a medium pace all rounder. If there's like a fast bowling all rounder who performed well, maybe I would have fit him in. Otherwise, it's a good team, man. There's nothing wrong, and they all performed, so they're there based on their stats, numbers, and performances.
Yeah. What about no? But like Harry Brook hasn't played enough ODIs, right?
That's what I'm saying. One days, like I mean, in general, teams utna focus diya hi nahi. Like they didn't play their full teams also. So even like the runs, like Shubman Gill got a lot of runs against Zimbabwe. He got some runs against Bangladesh. He probably didn't play tough opposition. Like so that's what I'm saying. Like we'll have a better idea this year with the World Cup and everything how the one day numbers look like. Rohit
Yeah, I
Sharma, Virat
guess.
Kohli missed a lot of one days also. Apart, I think from that England series in the summer, they did miss quite a few. Reece Topley had a very good series there, with the ball in the one dayers. I remember that clearly, but maybe his overall numbers are not matching Trent Bolt's. Like, and yeah, apart from that, I can't really think. If you guys in the chat remember, let me know. ODI team is already good, no argument about that. Is saying Vinesh Bhai. So let's move on to the Test team.
Your boy.
As ball. एक दो तीन चार चार इंग्लिश के प्लेयर्स. हाँ जाओ
But
बोलो.
but तुम्हारा बॉय है इसमें.
कौन पिक करा उसको फैंटेसी टीम में? मेरा बॉय है वहां पे. देखो कैप्टन है टीम का. तुम्हारा कौन है? फैंटेसी पिक किसका था?
आपका ही था भाई. आप ही
मेरा था. बाबर आजम की बात कर रहे राइट?
नहीं मैं हाँ बाबर की बात कर रहा था. अच्छा मेरा फैंटेसी
तुम्हारा वो है. मेरा कहाँ है? मेरा तो बेन स्टोक्स है.
बट है शौक है यार बाबर नहीं है बोल के थोड़ा.
हाँ तो तुम्हारा है वो है. मेरे पे क्यों डाल दिए तुम?
Let's go through the team once. Greg Braithwaite from West Indies. Usman
Incredible.
Khwaja. Yeah, Usman Khwaja is phenomenal. इन्हें तो टेंट है तो इसको तो छोड़ ही देना. Marnus. Joe Root, I mean, what test matches में, yeah, he played decent in India as well. Johnny Bairstow, Ben Stokes, oh, your boy, hopefully, wishing him a speedy recovery. Rishabh Bhai, Pat Cummins, Kagiso Rabada towards the end really messed his test career. Nathan Lyon, always a threat, and Jimmy at 40, Anderson.
One change I'd probably make is Babar for Root, because Babar's runs were his stats were incredible, man, this year.
Yeah, Babar was 1,000 some plus runs in like some certain amount of innings, man. I guess
you can say Root tougher conditions. He played a lot in England, this, that, and everything. Like just based on numbers.
Tougher condition, देखो भाई अगर तुम्हारा home है तो तुम्हारे आदत तो होंगी ना भाई at home खेलने.
नहीं मतलब पाकिस्तान में देखे तुम कैसे रहते, कोई भी रन मार सकता, like वैसा है लोग, like, and that's why people say that conditions इसलिए देखते, right? लेकिन you're right, Joe Root plays at home, is comfortable in those conditions. Maybe that's one change I would make. That's that's the only change. And look at the opening slot, Craig Brathwaite, man, I have to give him a shout out. He's been outstanding. He's एक ही खड़ा रहता, उन्हें कहीं भी condition रो उन्हें खड़ा रहता. Against Australia, he had some incredible innings in the past series, and he was playing at a good pace also. Sometimes he just soaks the pressure and he stays there. Also, he's captain and he led from the front. They beat England in home. He's the reason for baseball. England lost that series in March or February, was it? And then they changed their whole team. They made Ben Stokes captain, and everything changed from there. And also there, Bairstow had a very good series in West Indies, I remember. But Brathwaite was captain, and they won that series with captaincy. He was brilliant. Look at that average, bro. 62.4. He beat England at home. He was outstanding in that series. In Australian conditions, he was good. This guy always stands tall for West Indies. He's the one guy who you want to battle. You want to go out to battle with. He's that guy, man, for me. And he had an incredible year, so he deserves a slot, in my opinion. Khwaja, those numbers are very, very impressive. I want to see how he does in the Ashes now, in the year 2023, because it's in English conditions. But he's done so well. The main thing Usman Khwaja has done over the last 4 years, since 2017 or 18, I would say, is that he's improved against spin. So now he's your go-to in subcontinental conditions. He was really good in Pakistan. Normally, Khwaja used to struggle against spin. They wouldn't pick him in overseas tours. They would only pick him in home seasons. But now he has proved himself against spin, and rightly so. Marnus to bhai bahut chikat hai, usko to nikal hi nahi sakte.
मुस्तफा चिराग भाई सर, मुस्तफा भाई बाबर के रन्स कैसे विकेट्स पे आए हैं देखो तो पर या इस ओडी 50, आई मीन मेजॉरिटी अगर अपन ओडीआईस देखे पाकिस्तान के इट्स एट होम, बट ऑपोजिशंस कौन इंग्लैंड था, टेस्ट मैचेस टेस्ट
हाँ
मैचेस अगर
देखो,
अपन देख
मैं वही तो बोल रहा हूँ, इसलिए शायद रूट को रखे बिकॉज कंडीशन में, अगर आप ये भी
रहे
देखें कि रूट कंफर्टेबल है वो कंडीशंस में, रूट को
हैं।
पता है बैक ऑफ द हैंड, ही नोज हाउ टू प्ले इन दोस कंडीशंस। इवन अगेंस्ट इंडिया, द सीरीज बिफोर द लास्ट ईयर व्हेन जब 2-1 हार रहे थे इंग्लैंड, उसमें रूट के भी सेंचुरीज थे ऑलरेडी, तो ही नोज हाउ टू प्ले इन दोस कंडीशंस। You could say that, but I agree with you that wickets run तो run होते हैं, right? Like उसने I think श्रीलंका के against भी मारा था in Sri Lanka. I understand where
Yeah,
you're coming from, but I'm just saying maybe that's what I would do just because of the numbers.
yeah.
Craig Bathurst truly deserves it, 100%, man. Good, impressive knowledge, bro. R. Ashwin should be in the test team, best all rounder nowadays. The thing with Ashwin is, away from home with the ball, he has to improve. The Lion is great in all conditions. If you want someone to bat, of course, Ashwin has been outstanding, but he's been really good with the bat. But there's two things how I look at that. There's one thing that it shouldn't come down to Ashwin for you to win test matches, and he's contributed also in that test the year before in the, was it the draw game? Was it the MCG or was it no MCG? They won in Sydney, if I'm not mistaken, where he batted with Vihari over there. Also,
Bihari,
Ashwin
yeah.
was there, man,
Mhm.
like a beast. But it shouldn't go down to Ashwin. Fine, I would give it to you. His batting was outstanding, but with the ball in overseas conditions, apart from that Australia series, he has to improve. Even in Bangladesh, I was not impressed with his bowling, but yes, he won you the game with the bat. So you could arguably put him there, but Lion is hard to argue over, man. He's been outstanding in every single series in every condition.
Yeah, 100%.
Good shout, Ollie Robinson. किसको निकालते लेकिन
जिमी कगिजो, पैट कमिंस नहीं यार, पूरे सॉलिड है। पैट कमिंस या ये साल बोल डाला
फैज एक सेकंड, हाँ तुम
हिलरो में। या सो या मेरे हिसाब से तो या ये टीम अभी सेट है। ऋषभ पंत की अगर बात करें, बिकॉज मैं बेन स्टोक्स को नहीं छेड़ूंगा बिकॉज मुस्तफा भाई ऑलरेडी टच दैट टॉपिक। But yeah, Rishabh Pant मेरे लिए I've been advocating him as not deserving at least in ODI T20 for me. But yeah, the way he won us that test in Australia and against Australia, और अभी हाल में जो बांग्लादेश में भी उन्होंने करा है, and yeah, for me Rishabh Pant will definitely fit into that squad. People in the chat, let us know आप लोगों का क्या thoughts है ये टेस्ट की टीम पे, any other changes that you would see, because yeah, जिमी एंडरसन भाई ये एज में भी आके उन्हें जिस तरीके से पाकिस्तान में डाला, इधर उधर डाला throughout the year, he's been having a phenomenal year. It's not that easy for him. Obviously, fitness भी एक key factor रहता है, and 100% respect him. Kagit Rapada had an amazing year. Overall, अगर अपन देख रहे towards the end, वही जो ऑस्ट्रेलिया के against अपन देखे, he's not been that clinical with his line and length. He's been bowling short, wide. He just lost his rhythm. Definitely, I'm rooting for him in this last test against ऑस्ट्रेलिया, अगर वो कुछ कर पाते हैं या नहीं कर पाते हैं. But yeah, definitely मैं ये कोशिश करूंगा कि अगर Kagiso Rabada comes back, then hopefully it'll be an interesting test match. Apart from that, Pat Cummins led Australia to the first victory. He's been phenomenal as well throughout the year. So yeah, throughout the year अगर अपन देख रहे तो this is the test team. Any other questions anyone has? Musaba is back with us, hopefully. Yeah, he's back with us.
Sorry.
I was just saying, yeah, I left Ben Stokes. I know, I'm sure you probably discussed Ben Stokes already, but again, you don't want to go on Ben Stokes and his thing. What I was saying, Rishabh Pant definitely rightfully in there because how I've been critical of the guy, but yeah, Test cricket, he's just something else. Jimmy Anderson throughout the year, amazing man. At that age, he's been picking up wickets and stuff. And yeah, Kagiso Rabada towards the end, thoda, he lost his line and length, but if you go back to the series against India and stuff, he was amazing as well.
Yeah, even in England, he was really good. Rabada has had a very good year. Yes, against Australia in the last test, he was wayward, but in the first test, he was good as well. Right?
Yeah.
He was really good. 3-4 विकेट ले लिया था almost उसमें second inning में. तो Rabada has been really good. And Jimmy is cracking corn in Pakistan also. It's not just English conditions where everyone thinks उन्हें खाली swing के साथ कर सकता. उन्हें हर conditions में करता. And he's been outstanding. This guy has won Ashes in Australia as well, where he's had a series-winning spells over there. So Anderson, but in particular this year, again, brilliant man. Marco Jansen is a good shout. I mean, I saw him in other teams where you put him over there. He was really good this year in England. Also very impressive against India. He was outstanding. But the only thing is, where do I fit him there? Maybe instead of Pat Cummins, because Pat Cummins didn't have the best of years, to be very honest with you, with the ball. I don't think in the test matches he was as great, as he has been. But, Pat Cummins, maybe because they put him because of the reputation, he's captain now as well. Also, maybe they're considering the start of the year where the Ashes, they dominated England, but usme bhi do hi test match the honge. The other two were probably before the year started, in my opinion. So maybe that's why they kept Pat Cummins. Like, yeah, maybe you could put Jansen over Cummins. That's a possibility. But yeah, another spinner. If it's in subcontinental conditions, then you would probably take Ashwin. Go with two seamers and spinners. But if you're playing in in neutral conditions or Sana conditions, then this is your team. And Bairstow, man, I have to talk about this guy. Kya khela yaar. Even before baseball, he was hitting hundreds. He had a
Yeah,
hundred in the
wow.
West Indies also. He was incredible under Root. And then when he got the chance, what's it called, under baseball, oof.
Baseball.
इंडिया को ठोक दिया, न्यूजीलैंड को ठोक दिया, साउथ अफ्रीका अगेंस्ट भी आई थिंक ठोका, हर जगह ठोका. I mean, I would love to see him fit again in that Ashes series coming in the summer. I'll be love to see him, but he was
I'm
so
pretty
good.
sure अगर पाकिस्तान में भी रहता तो next level चले आता था उन्हें.
उन्हें मार देता था. And he's the guy who's taken baseball to the next level. Baseball has been played around him. He's the one who took that risk and changed it. वो जो सेशन था अगेंस्ट न्यूजीलैंड, जब चेस करना था, राइट, 280 300 को चेस कर रहे थे, एक सेशन में स्टोक्स खड़ा था उसके साथ, मगर इन्हें निकाला वो गेम. आके खाली दौड़ दौड़, बोल्ट इधर जा रहा, सऊदी उधर जा रहा. And that game, I remember New Zealand were dominating that game, bro. In the summer, New Zealand were like on top of England. They were and chasing. I thought, khalas, New Zealand will get them all out, maybe 200, 180 like that. लेकिन इन्हें जो वो सेशन खेला, मेरे को याद है, लंच के बाद था शायद सेशन, उन्हें स्टोक्स खड़ा था उसके साथ, ले बशीर दे बशीर चूर बहुत फोड़ के रख दिया था. And he's had an outstanding year. Unfortunately, he got injured. लेकिन I really can't wait to see him back, man. I love Bairstow. He's such a good player. First, can you sing his chant once?
I don't remember it. But yeah, even for us in the T20 in IPL, यार वो क्या चीज था यार वो Bairstow.
मगर अब पंजाब में है.
Johnny, yes, Papa हो गया eating sugar.
नहीं वो तो नहीं, but हाँ, but like Bairstow for me, he was so good. Ben Stokes, I think, the baseball also, he like, if his average is not bad, 36.2 with the ball as well, he's bowled some vital spells. He's helped his team out, and I think the way he's approached, like, he's getting out early, he's playing some erratic shots, so maybe he doesn't have big innings. Like, he's been there and he's led the team from the front, and he deserves to be there just for that seat, the captaincy, man. So he's just changed.
Imagine like in this team, agar baseball खेले, again under Root, obviously, Rishabh Pant will moderate, Johnny Bairstow, obviously he's there, Joe Root will be the anchor, Labuschagne and Joe Root सो जाएंगे पिच पे मेरे हिसाब से तो ख्वाजा will give you a good opening. But yeah.
No player from New Zealand defending World Test Championships, but that was last year. They were champions last year in June, July. This year they started the year terribly against Bangladesh when Ibadat Hussain ran riot in New Zealand, and then in the summer England smashed them. Okay, now they had a draw against Pakistan, but New Zealand haven't really had a year to remember in the Test matches. Maybe there would be the odd thing here and there, like, they weren't that consistent in Test matches, and I don't think they did that many either.
Yeah, and apart from this, I think there's no one in New Zealand that credible, probably.
Yeah,
apart.
Tom Latham, Kane, they have.
but like, वही है ना, throughout the year अगर अपन देख रहे.
Yeah. And also the Ijaz Patel 10 wickets was last year as well, just to remind you guys. So there's I don't think they did as much, and when they did, it wasn't as recognizable compared to this.
For me, New Zealand really have to ramp up their bowling, man. Their bowling looks very weak now. It's slow. Bolt नहीं है, इन्हें नहीं है, मिलने को भी नहीं खिलाता था.
ये भी देखो conditions, right? अगर अब न्यूजीलैंड में खेलेंगे, देखो मैट हेनरी आ जाता, फर्ग्यूसन आता, ये वो आके like I think it'll suit them. Lekin, maybe you can still add one of these players in the current squad, but you have to look at the conditions. Maybe their spinners aren't as effective, or maybe those they don't have express fast bowlers for subcontinent conditions. Yeah, लेकिन look, Ollie Robinson, he really surprised me in Pakistan because उसका pace वैसा नहीं है मार्क वुड वाला pace, मगर उन्हें जो develop करा reverse swing और fitness पे भी काम करा, accuracy जो है उसकी बहुत impressive थी, because I felt he was good amazing in English conditions. He got the better of Virat Kohli last year, lekin the way he bowled in Pakistan just recently, hats off, man. He was very good.
Babar को तो जो क्या निकाला था.
Yeah, reverse करारा था ball, खतरनाक bowling.
What about your boy Andre Nochie?
How are they all my boys? My boys, the captain. Unlike Nokia, man, again, some crazy spells. That first test match in England, I remember क्या डाल रहा था उन्हें और Rabada
Why?
फोड़ दिए थे. And that's why Rabada is in that team. Like, he had a really good year, actually.
Yeah.
Nokia as well, but I don't know, man. Like,
Comments को निकाल के comments को निकाल के डाल देते क्या?
maybe Janssen, because Janssen will give you with the bat as well, and he was also really good in a different way, right? Like Janssen, if you look at that India series, Janssen was outstanding, and I think Nokia was injured in that series. I don't remember if he played every game. I know Janssen was there, and even with the bat, he was a thorn in India's back. He was really good in that series. So maybe Janssen instead of Cummins, because Cummins can bat also. Remember that. Wicket keeper, I have no doubts. Rishabh Pant, man, 100 in South Africa, there was 100 in England this year also. So 200s in tough conditions. He
And
could have had 100
Bangladesh.
in Bangladesh if he wanted to, but fell short. Again, wishing him a speedy recovery, but he's had an incredible year as Test
Yeah,
cricketer.
not covers.
Yeah, he was injured. So Janssen, bro. I would probably go Janssen instead of Cummins. That's the only change I would make. Uh, and Khwaja
But
also,
yeah,
I remember the end of the Ashes, उसमें भी उन्हें he caught fire. The whole Ashes he caught fire, smashing 100.
yeah, it
So
was hitting
that adds to that average. It's been an incredible year for
Usman bhai.
uh-huh.
मोहम्मद आमिर अर्ली रिटायरमेंट का रीजन टीम मैनेजमेंट को बताया था क्या अब न्यू मैनेजमेंट के साथ कमबैक बात हो रही है आई थिंक इनों के बीच में someone was mentioning earlier in the comment that
Ibrahim Bhai
Mohammad
was
Amir
saying.
yeah Ibrahim Bhai was saying
Also,
that
Fakhar Zaman is back in the one Discord. Lala kuch post करे आज. Fakhar Zaman and another player back in the ODI probables.
seriously
I don't know what is probables is, man. Just announce the squad and then we can analyze it. Probables में पता नहीं कौन रहेगा कौन नहीं रहेगा लेकिन
I
I
think this is
think
giving content to pavilion जो शोएब मलिक इन लाते probable डिस्कस करते लड़ लेते कर लेते but yeah वो probable doesn't make sense till the team is out I think ये सब speculation ही रहेगा उसके अलावा तो क्या करते लाला but yeah I mean Mohammad Amir playing coming back what are your thoughts on that like do you think he'll be able to adjust I mean yeah the
I don't
quality he
think. I
has
think we need to look to youngsters now and just to go from there. Mohammad Amir has, he's been like he was banned for 5 years. He came back really well. He won the Champions Trophy. Before that, he won the T20 World Cup. He played his part. He made a mistake. He got punished for it, and now I think it's just time to look at
the
youngsters.
future
Back the likes of Naseem Shah. Even if people are injured, go into the Quaid-e-Azam, go into the domestic, the Pakistan Cup and all these tournaments which happen in Pakistan, and pick players from there. Get some express bowlers and back them because again, Amir, I don't think his pace is going to be as the same. I saw him in the CPL. उतना तेज नहीं है. Of course, accurate था उन्हें. I think उसकी टीम जीती भी बारबाडोस थी या शायद उसकी टीम जीती भी if I'm not mistaken या फाइनल पहुंची थी CPL में तो he had a good domestic T20 as well this year लेकिन it's not the same Mohammad Amir and it's time to pack the youngsters. He probably can still make it. I don't know. Najam Sethi looks like he's his boy and they're close and tight. Like, and I don't know. I don't
I
think.
think the way they're looking at it is right now because of Shaheen being
Haris Sohail
injured
is.
yeah, and Shaheen being injured and all of these guys, there's no senior kind of a guy in the bowling
It's
department.
okay. Just go with another thing. Go with
Because
another.
Haris Rauf भी नहीं है, इन्हें भी नहीं है, so I think maybe.
Haris Rauf be like he was inexperienced at when they backed him, but they backed him right in that Asia Cup. They showed like back youngsters and go for it. Shaheen, ठीक है Shaheen अगर नहीं है तो फिर try to build another player. You have bowlers there in your stock. Try to get them in. Whether he'll come, I'm not saying he won't come back. I wouldn't pick him. He probably can come back
That's
because
yeah.
Najam Sethi has a good relationship with him. Look, they already are in discussions according to Ibrahim Bhai. Yeah, I agree. 135, 140. उन्हें 140 प्लस डाल रहा था 2009 में याद है वो दिलशान को जो विकेट निकाला था फाइनल में उफ incredible ball tha wo extreme pace and then look his pace dropped but his accuracy was still there. I remember 2016 Asia Cup that spell only Virat Kohli could handle him when they were chasing 90 in India only Virat Kohli could handle him and then in the Champions Trophy even Kohli couldn't handle him so he's had some spells which have been incredible. I'll no doubt he's been a great bowler for Pakistan but now time is up I think in my opinion. First for you the best player in T20s this year.
T20. Sky. Yeah, Sky.
Surya Kumar. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go.
Charles Butler.
No, I'll go. It's between Adil Rashid and Sam Curran. I'll go Sam Curran. Is my T20 player of the
Adil
year.
Rashid. Wow, good shot.
One days.
One days. Babar bhai.
One day Babar Azam, huh?
Yeah, Babar Azam.
Who is there, man? I'd go Mehdi Hasan, man. Just that he's been
That
good. Not
is.
just India series, he's been good this whole year. And I had him in my fantasy picks during the T20 World Cup, but he didn't have that. But and the Asia Cup, but he didn't have great tournaments. Like
Hmm.
he's been very good. He's impressed me in one days. And then Test.
Labushin for me. And a
Best.
punt for you. Oh, you best?
But
Okay.
yeah,
I thought you'd
he's
go
been
with punt.
outstanding, man. I mean, Rishabh Pant, if India won those two matches where he scored the hundreds, I think they lost both games. It's not his fault. It's not his fault that they lost. Lekin,
Yeah.
if they won those, Pant would be the player thing. Just you have to. It's sometimes you say, "अरे match winning नहीं था ये वो." Honestly, match winning थे उसके दोनों innings, मगर bowlers let him down both times. So I won't blame him in that. Like in Bairstow, man, he just took cricket to another level, especially the five-ball game. He's taken to another level. Dahani should play, and Hasnain also. Yeah, man, they have Dahani, they have Hasnain. Hasnain is also impressive. They have a couple of other bowlers, man. I can't remember top of my head. Chirag Bhai is also saying Dhani is also good. New Zealand have a chance to recover in World Test Championship with the Pakistan, and they beat Sri Lanka 2-0 in New Zealand. In February, they will finish top 5 of WTC, which will be a good comeback by them. Yeah, I mean, it will be a good comeback. They can, again, with the year they had the year before, they were champions. They were so good. That consistency was kind of missing, I would say. And that's maybe because of their fast bowling. Also, batting maybe didn't live up to the standards. So yeah, from New Zealand's point of view, not the best of
Yeah,
championship
but
this year.
like beating Pakistan and Pakistan again, those pitches that we saw, it's gonna be hard to get a result.
It's going to be hard to
So
get a result. I feel the second test there might just be a result because it's the second test in Karachi. I just maybe I'm hoping more than anything that there will be a result.
new new year, new me बोल रहे तुम pitch.
Yeah, yeah. Moment of for you, the moment of the year in terms of cricketing terms. We'll choose different ones. So
Yeah,
I'll go Virat.
I'll tell you.
I'll go Virat Kohli, Haris
Yeah,
Rauf.
you take Virat. Yeah, no problem. For me, it's Netherlands beating South Africa. That was the moment of the year for me. Netherlands beating South Africa and Pakistan
Well,
coming back into the
that's when
final.
Kudrat ka Nizam took off. It took off to another level, into
वो
another
अलग
direction.
ही था भाई वो जब नेदरलैंड अपन I remember they were like matches were like at 2 or 12 in India. भाई उठ के देखे तो भाई ये क्या है यार ये नेदरलैंड्स के साथ दी.
Yeah, look, this point, Vinesh Bhai Singh, I agree with that. It's not his problem. Yeah, like I agree with that.
They
It's
used
not
to
his
also say a similar thing about Sachin. Sachin जब मारता था कभी-कभी
problem.
हार
Sachin
जाते
slow
थे.
करता था कभी-कभी. Virat
विराट
versus
वर्सेस
Pakistan,
पाकिस्तान.
bro. MCG, like 80,000, 90,000 people. The ground shaking. The pressure is on. You're going 29 of what, 7 deliveries, 8 deliveries. Haris Rauf steaming in, and just the way he picked it out, man,
Yeah,
incredible. For me, it's probably the best moment. And I've seen India lift the trophy in 2007 against Pakistan at Misbah Haq. But I'll tell you one thing: I didn't really enjoy that game. मतली हो रही थी, नर्वसनेस हो रहा था, लेकिन
yeah,
हल्लक में था वो.
चाचू आके हल्लक में लगा दिए थे.
No, I'm talking about the 2007
Oh, that's what, the bowl out
Misbah
or the
Haq.
final? Yeah, okay.
Misbah Haq. I didn't enjoy it. I was stressed. Then
अरे
2011.
भाई the worst thing in the 2007 thing was when the final ball was there, the way the cameraman messed with my head. उन्हें इल्मा मारा और सीधा उन्हें बाउंड्री में डाल दिया छोड़ दिया कैमरा. बाउंड्री
Yeah.
में डाल दिया सीधा क्या अरे ने छक्का मार दिया और हो गया बोलते नहीं फिर श्रीशांत अन्ना आके यूं करे थे तो वो है.
Yeah. What's your New Year resolution? Both of you, please be honest. The thing is, I can tell you anything, but the problem is, I never stick to my New Year's resolution. So I stopped doing it. We always have these resolutions, but I don't know if people do. If you do, then great. But I never stick to it. So I think
What would yours be, Sachin bhai? Like if you have a New Year's resolution, what would yours be? I'm curious to know.
for me, it will
My
probably be I don't know.
something I can think.
No, no. I'll probably be work harder, exercise more, and I mean,
No,
I
yeah.
do
You
exercise
work
quite a bit.
harder, and yeah, you
Work
work
harder,
hard enough.
and try to get to do more work and try to do my best in my career, but also help people out and be more sociable. I'm, since I've been focusing on work, I'm not as sociable, so maybe sociable. I don't know, man. No one really. I never take this resolution seriously because दो दिन के बाद भूल जाता हूँ क्या भी बोला मैं. Netherlands beating South Africa and third umpire giving Sakib display. Despite
Yeah.
clearance to the Nizam at max. And if that was India, oh my God, the things that would have been said by the Pakistani media, it would have been just next level. So I agree, man. That was too much. भाई वो सिक्स मस्त था विराट का, बहुत ज्यादा मस्त था. लाइक दोनों छक्के उसके वो हारिस रऊफ के ओवर में इनक्रेडिबल थे.
वो छक्का तो भाई लाइक नेक्स्ट लेवल था. उसमें बहुत ज्यादा लाइक बॉडी मैकेनिज्म अगर आप ले है, बहुत एक पूरा स्टडी हुआ वो छक्के के ऊपर. तो आई थिंक दैट सिक्स इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम द अदर वन.
If you want to rate, you support India. If you want to rate them out of 10 this year, how much would you give them?
I'd give them like a 6, man, to be honest. But again, there's that too much variation in the team, too much variation in captaincy, too much variation in the coaches. So I think that is what has hindered India's performance overall. I'm just looking forward to 2023 having one captain, or deciding that which captain will be of which format, and being clear with the notion, with the what they're trying to achieve in terms of template and in terms of their approach. That is what the clarity I need from them.
People in the comments also let us know what you give India out of 10. I would
performance
give
review. You're giving India 8?
3 out of 10.
Oh, that's good.
One point for the South Africa one test match win, 1 point for that Pakistan win, and 1 point for that ODI T20 series win in England. That's it. You didn't win a trophy. You didn't reach finals. You lost that test match against England, couldn't win the series, lost the test series to South Africa. That's not, as an Indian fan or even like just a neutral, if I look at it from, if I look at it from a sports content or journalist perspective, if I look at it from a fan perspective, I look at it from any perspective, there was no success. It was below average performance. You could say 4 maybe if you want to, but for me it was below average for India. What did they do?
The only thing for me is like the turn of Bangladeshi squad. Yes, Bangladesh, all respect to Bangladesh, but they made Bangladesh look like an Australia. I know the pitches were
below average. वही तो बोल रहा हूँ. आप वनडे
मैं वही बोल रहा हूँ. मैं 6 देना चाह रहा था, but just because I could go 4 as well, but the way only because they won that. Ultimately, they won it and brought it home. So it's like
but they lost the one day series. They lost the T20 World Cup. They lost the Asia Cup. They lost the South Africa series. They lost the test match to England as well. Where they should have won that or draw that test match and won the series. They didn't do that.
But too much variation in terms of captains. Too much variation in terms of players being injured, sitting out. Yeah. क्वालिटी है वो तो है.
इंग्लैंड भी भाई वेरिएशन करे. बटलर बैठ गया था इधर, करे वो करे. लाइक स्टोक्स ने खेला काफी सीरीज. इन लोग भी उल्टा करे. They've also lost series and everything, but when it mattered, they were there up for the fight. In important games they were there. हमारे नहीं थे boys. Like you had good T20 performances, and in terms of stats, your players will be there in the playing 11s of a lot of teams. Lekin overall, I sum up this year as one of the poorest, man, in the last few years, and there have been some
semi-final performance also again against England. That was just two literally two.
Yeah, आप 2018 में देख लो, you can say you won the Asia Cup. 2019 में देख लो, you had a really good World Cup. You were top of the table. Then that New Zealand thing. 2020 में देख लो, you had the Gabba. 2021 was it or 2020? 2021 that you had the Gabba. 2020 there wasn't too much cricket, so okay, fine. So you had performances, but this year, man, there's nothing for me. Like it was a terrible year.
Yeah, how you guys, everyone in the chat, and how you guys looking at 2023? What you guys feel will happen in 2023? I know we can't predict it all, but just World Cup.
India versus Pakistan semi-final. 2011 all over again, huh? India versus Pakistan semi-final one-day World Cup. Now, look, the focus will be on the World Cup and the World Test Championship. You have to win both trophies. You need to win at least one. Okay, If you don't win at least one, then again it's going to be a failure of a year. Now, to win that, what do you have to do? Like you said, you need to have a consistent captain, you need to have a good squad, and you need to trust your players, but at the same time you have to make smart decisions. Doesn't mean you play them only when even if they're not performing. Lambi Rasi doesn't mean that. You also have to pick on merit. I think that's more important than anything. People say bhai iska kya galti thi, uska kya galti thi. I think you can drop players. ऐसा नहीं है कि आप एक player को पूरा खींचो पूरा साल, वैसा नहीं है. लेकिन merit पे pick करो, जो perform कर रहा है उसको रखो. नहीं perform तरह निकाल सकते, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, लंबी रस्सी सबको देना कोई जरूरत है नहीं. So that's one thing. The other thing is fielding has to improve. Maybe that is to do with team selection. You pick younger players or whatever, but fielding has to improve from India as well. So there's quite a few things from India that needs to become better for them to win a trophy, whether it's the World Test Championship and thing. Now, World Test Championship, you still have to beat Australia at home. I don't know what the exact requirement is. If you guys in the chat, let me know, because it keeps changing every time South Africa lose. They can that World Test Championship at home against Australia will be a challenge, because your players, a lot of them don't play spin as well as you think they do. So that will be it'll be a challenge against Australia. And then the World Test Championship again will be an oval. It'll rain a bit. There'll be some swing on offer and everything against Cummins, Hazelwood, Stark.
Stark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will you be ready for that? Because India play well in Australian conditions, but in English conditions or swing bowling conditions, whenever there's a challenge for the batsmen, they do struggle.
Yep. And Anshul Bhai says the same thing. 2023 WTC and 2023 ODI India. I mean, it'll all be, it all will be based on IPL for me, and like कैसा IPL में perform करते, कैसा mindset
आईपीएल
रहता
से
है.
लेना देना है नहीं ये साल इंडिया
नहीं,
की,
because अपना selection criteria वही है ना, that
तो
is
वो
what I don't
चेंज
like.
बदलना पड़ेगा आपको
वही तो है ना.
इंडिया.
एंड भाई अक्टूबर तक क्या इंजरीज होते हैं, like unfortunately अब जैसा अपन देखे, तो it will add to that as well. But yeah, I mean, KL Rahul and these guys
The
again.
boy, the main man. KL Rahul was key moment. Yeah, bro, it was. I agree. It was a key moment to avoid embarrassment. मगर फिर भी कुछ हुआ नहीं उसके बाद. I agree that run out was very crucial. नहीं तो इंडिया हार जाती थी वो मैच. Also, the rain was crucial. It disturbed Bangladesh a bit.
Yeah, Litton was on fire.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, if I see, it wasn't a great year, man. I think England had a much better year. Pakistan, you can say, had a better year. They reached 2 finals. Sri Lanka had a better year.
Pakistan का मैं ये बोला, Pakistan played a lot of cricket at home as well. I think that is also a difference.
Yeah, but they reached a final in Australia when no one was giving them a chance, including myself. They reached a final in the Asia Cup.
Then Chirag Bhai's comment is coming to mind. Netherlands beating South Africa and Shakib giving.
Yeah, but it's there, right? They reached the final. India didn't reach the final. We see Sri Lanka, they have a trophy, so I consider that a better year. So it's been very disappointing, and with the personnel you have, with the team that you have, you'd expect much more.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely, and the amount of money that the BCCI pumps in cricket, Ranchi and Sab, we would definitely expect a better kind of.
Yeah, look, there have been positives. That away series win in England in the limited overs has been positive, but you've done that recently. India is expected to win a series abroad now. It's changed. They've whitewashed South Africa. They've done stuff abroad in the last 3-4 years. They've beaten Australia. So I feel that that's okay. They won a series in England. Fine, I expect that. But what about these other key matches, like the Test matches, the World Cups, the Asia Cups? UAE didn't beat Argentina, bro. Saudi Arabia beat Argentina. That was the key moment. That was one of my best moments of 2022 for me.
UAE played him in a warm-up and lost 5-0. Argentina beat the final.
That was probably the best day. I don't know. First, Saudi versus Argentina or Virat Kohli versus Pakistan? What would you rate higher? So tough. I mean, for me, it's very, very tough.
Yeah, man, it's almost equal, right? If you see Redemption, they were 1-0 down, and they came back to 1. Virat Kohli was like 4 or 5 wickets down, and he came on like alone.
But you didn't expect Saudi to win, whereas India, you expect them to win, but from that position, you didn't expect them to win. It's very tough.
But the team-wise, if you see Messi and all of these, Haris Rauf and all of these guys, they were like firing. So, I mean, it's so tough to decide. Let's just call it even.
How is compared to Messi and Haris Rauf?
I mean, for a Pakistan thing, it's probably a like.
I know, it's a tough one. I would rate women's team higher than the men's team. I agree to a certain extent, but women also disappointed me in that 50-over World Cup, man. I was expecting so much from them. At that time, we were watching the games. I watched almost every single game of that one-day World Cup. I enjoyed that World Cup, but they didn't reach the semifinals, and they had some big wins in that World Cup. They didn't reach the semifinals. I was disappointed that last game they should have won. They lost, and they didn't reach the semifinals then. But yeah, they did have at least they reached the finals of the gold final match against Australia in the Commonwealth. That was a very good performance. I felt they were really good in the Commonwealth. Even that game was Hath Mein Tha game. Just pressure got the better of them, and Australia's winning mentality. So yeah, like you could say that the women's had some impressive performances. And in women's cricket, like you have Australia and England, which are the benchmark. But here you're supposed to be the benchmark in men's cricket, so that's why it's even more disappointing. So to a certain extent, I agree with you. Faz, I think we're off tomorrow. I think we should be off tomorrow, because not because you're gonna party hard, but just we'll get a 1 day break, and then we'll recharge ourselves, and we'll come back on New Year's Day and look forward to the India Sri Lanka series, and then we have the test matches also to look forward to, the Pakistan, New Zealand, and Australia, South Africa, and we have plenty of cricket to talk about in the new year. It's been a good year. We've seen a lot of games together. We've seen a lot of games online together, together in Dubai also. It's been a good year. So now here's to a happy new year, and a lot of good cricket, a lot of crazy matches, nail biters, and some incredible games. So yeah, every year provides
Yeah.
us some moment. This year for me it was that Virat Kohli innings, but every year
And the
provides
Saudi Arabia,
Saudi game. Yeah, of course that was incredible.
Morocco,
Umran Malik's spell, man, in the IPL
Umran Malik spell.
against Gujarat, they lost that game, but I'll never forget
But
that
yeah,
spell. Also
spell.
against Calcutta, that was pretty fun. So yeah, plenty of good moments, but more sad ones as well. But yeah, it is what it
Yeah.
is.
One more
Okay.
moment with Lakshman coming in place of Rahul Dravid.
That was what?
Lakshman coming in place of Rahul Dravid.
That was what moment? Your moment?
One series, most like how dumb was that moment? It's one of the dumb moments. But yeah, I mean, क्या ही कर सकते.
Uh,
But yeah, 2023, lots of new things. The way IPL is shaping up, already big names in the pot. Big man Sam, 18 crores. Cameron Green, 17 crores. So it's going to be a phenomenal IPL. Hopefully by October, we see that the whatever issues are happening with the Pakistan board and BCCI, खेलना नहीं खेलना वो अभी भी चल रहा थोड़ा रोना. आमिर आएगा नहीं आएगा 2023 में. Or India, Sri Lanka, India, New Zealand, Australia, India. Then we have England, Bangladesh coming up, then Afghanistan and everyone. So yeah, काफी cricket है जैसा आप बोले. But this next year will be a very good way to assess better in terms of ODIs, like you mentioned, in terms of T20 as well. There'll be a lot of more series, bilateral series of T20 that we get to see. But yeah, hopefully looking to a phenomenal year of cricket, and hopefully all our subscribers, all our you guys share and like, and we will come back in the new year. We will try and grow this channel. We day in and day out, we will try and provide you the content from wherever we can, and hopefully for IPL also, we've got things planned. Started planning for the IPL. We're trying to get ahead of the game, hopefully. But yeah, definitely looking forward.
Yeah, आप लोग जुड़ते रहिए हमारे साथ. Thank you so much to everyone who keeps coming every day and giving us the support. We really appreciate it. We hope you enjoy the content. We'll take your suggestions, and we'll also try to do some new things in the new year. Of course, like I said, there's the IPL to look forward to. There's a World Test Championship final and a World Cup. This is going to be a bit different, this World Cup. The last World Cup in India was in February, March. Now it's going to be in October, November. So looking forward to it. Let's see what happens over there. Plenty of cricket to discuss. Cricket will always be going, and we'll try to have some fun content, try to get some interviews done, try to do some new things, and we'll always give it our best. So hopefully we'll catch you in the new year, guys. And we've made some good friends, especially in the last few months. Some great friends actually, जो रोज हमारे साथ जुड़े, रोज बात कर रहे हैं हमारे साथ, कभी कभी 2 घंटे, कभी 1 घंटे, जो भी है. Like you guys are always with us. Chirag bhai, today Anshul bhai joined us, but Techie Liv has always joined us.
Ibrahim
Dinesh
bhai,
joined us. Ibrahim Bhai has joined us. There's quite a few more that I'm
Gurnur
forgetting.
Paji. Yeah,
Ashish, Vinay, a punter. And then, and we'll also get our boys back, hopefully, with the New Year, Christmas period. A lot of people are on vacation, but we'll get Ryan back on the pod. We'll get Abrar back on the pod. We'll do some collaborations with the Sports Yari guys as well. We've already had Manoj Bhai and Rohit Bhai in the last couple months, and hopefully we'll get them on again and get some more people on to talk with you guys and discuss cricket. We love cricket, so enjoy the new year, stay safe, take care of yourselves, and can't wait for the cricket to restart.
Yes.
Until then, enjoy the football. It starts in an hour, so that's going to be fun. And football.
मैं fantasy करना भूल गया यार.
Deadline. You see the pressure there. You see what fantasy football does to you. And to everyone, please do subscribe to Chasing Green Arrows. That's our football channel over there. We have the hosts Gianni and Dean. They come twice a week, mostly Mondays and Fridays. But depending on now, it's a bit of a hectic schedule, so it depends on the football. But we've been. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram. It's our sister channel, or our brother channel, however you want to look at it. Over there, me and Fez are behind the scenes. Over here, we're in front of the camera, but it's all the same thing, and we would love for you to get there. It's a fantasy football channel, but of course you're discussing football, in particular the Premier League. So wahan pe aake judiye, and it'll be a lot of fun. Let's take is there any comments? No, I think that pretty much wraps it up. If you guys have any questions right now in the next 1 minute, let us know. Like, yeah, Faz, that's why I did that. I locked the team before the show. I knew this will happen, bro. Experience.
Yeah, man. No.
एक
My
minute, 1 hour.
fantasy, and I'm actually doing pretty well, and yeah. कोई बात
क्या
नहीं.
बात है, खुद की तारीफ. माशाल्लाह. You're doing.
कुदरत का
Say you're doing better than me. Say that. Charge me up.
I'm doing better because I'm improving day by day. I'm watching our channel. But no, I mean, everyone who doesn't actually play Fantasy Premier League, I recommend them because it makes the game a lot more interesting. अगर आप अब जैसे IPL का भी एडिशन आता है मुस्तफा, you know, आप हम हर साल खेलते हैं IPL का fantasy. It just adds to the whole flavor, right? Like, अरे भाई मेरा टीम में पिक करा, आज सूर्या मारा, आज इन्हें मारेगा क्या, आज उन्हें नहीं मारेगा, एंड देन तुम्हारे को वो टेंशन भी चले आती, बट तुम थोड़ा खुश भी आया था, अरे यार मुंबई इंडियंस से इन्हें मारा, अरे यार लेकिन अपने अपने हैदराबाद वाले हार गए यार, वैसा रहता देखो.
And I think it's a whole life in itself. If you look at it, fantasy football, not only do you get to know all about football, the Premier League itself, because you're following all the teams basically, because you need to find budget players also, some players that differential players that you're not maybe aware of before. I know Punter in particular, he never used to watch football on the level that we used to. Since he's playing FPL, this guy knows everything. You know, he knows what Saint Maxima is doing. He knows Basuma. He knows this. He knows that. So fantasy football gives you that knowledge, but also, you know, the anger, the excitement, like, you know, if your captain gets a yellow card or the captain scores a hat trick, if your defender gets a clean sheet, if your defender scores a own goal, gets a red card, the emotions that you go through, pura, like upar niche, it's a whole emotional roller coaster. You go through every single emotion as an FPL manager, so I would really recommend that. Vinny Rising 2023 is an important World Cup for ODI cricket.
Yes,
Survive
oh my God.
Neutral football and better hope World Cup. And you know what the thing is, 2019 for me was probably the best World Cup that I've ever seen. I know there's a lot of debate that I do with my friends also, that they say 2015, some people say 99, some people say 2003. Like, and for me, the 2019 World Cup, especially the final, I don't think you can beat that. Maybe you can, but like, you know,
in terms of drama, I guess, yeah, you're right.
it was so good. So I think with the one-day cricket, like, you know, even if you have a good World Cup, it becomes the, you know, one-day cricket is that punching bag right now because it's in between. Test matches, all the neutrals, I mean the natural, क्या बोलते हैं उसको, neutral natural नहीं क्या है, purists, cricket purists will watch it. T20s, all the younger generation and people who say they don't have time, they'll watch that. One day is the punching bag. But I'll tell you something, when there's a World Cup, whatever format it is, I think people will watch. And one day for me is the traditional World Cup. Like, you know, it's the original, because we grew up on that more than anything else. And it comes once in 4 years, so it makes it more prestigious. So I'm looking forward to it. Maybe there will be a lack of one day bilaterals because it is like, you know, in between here and there, and people are losing interest. Also, you have to remember in the last year, all the focus was in T20 in the World Test Championship, so you didn't have the big players playing one day. Now, when Virat Kohli comes out to bat in the one day series against Sri Lanka, there will be more eyeballs. When Rohit Sharma comes out to bat, there will be more
and
eyeballs.
I think this is a very good opportunity to actually promote 50-over World Cup happening because it's happening in India. That'll be a very big thing, because I remember 2011 World Cup जहाँ इंडिया में हुआ था भाई, हर mall, हर गली भरी हुई थी. Everyone was watching it so like religiously कि भाई जब we beat Sri Lanka, and वो भी याद है, I remember, I don't know how many people got that SMS, but Virendra saying will get out on the third ball or something. That went viral. वो सबको SMS आया था, Mustafa and me sent it to each other, and we're like भाई, and when it happened we were like, wait, what? I mean, that is just some like by chance होता है वो चीज़ ना, but like but everyone was stressed. सबके पसीने छूट गए जब वो सचिन तेंदुलकर का LBW डिसीजन टर्न हो गया था. अभी भी लोग लड़ते अपने से, देखो जो अजमल का बॉल था. So I mean, there are a lot of things that go into it, but when the World Cup comes, like Mustafa said, look at the football World Cup. People ordinarily in India don't watch World Cup football, but this World Cup was something else. And India में जब World Cup होता भाई, it's another whole kind of a festival of lights हो जाता, festival of celebration हो जाता, jam-packed pitches and stuff. Yeah.
even in football, like friend circles and also journalists, if you listen to podcasts in football and everything, they always say we love Premier League, we prefer leagues, football, we love Champions League and everything, World Cup, whatever, ऐसे ही देख लेते हैं. Because this World Cup everyone watched, like you mentioned, and that's the thing, right? World Cup, because all the big players play. Yeah, Haaland and Salah didn't play this time, but like, most of the big players played. Messi, Ronaldo, all these guys were there. Same thing with the thing when you have Virat Kohli batting from one end, you have Shaheen Afridi bowling from the other end, you have
Yeah.
Butler on one end, you have Cummins, Stark, all these guys playing one day cricket, then you're going to watch every game. और सब बोलते टाइम नहीं है, सब टाइम निकालते. एंड आजकल भाई इतना कितना मुश्किल है, आप काम करते करते आपका हॉटस्टार ऑन रहता है इधर साइड में, पिंडा कोई भी इतना कॉन्सेंट्रेट नहीं करता काम पे. स्कूल में भी कोई भी
भाई कुछ भी नहीं है, वर्क फ्रॉम होम है आजकल, सब सो रहे, लॉग इन करके सो जाते हैं. नो मैं करता था.
हम लोग स्कूल में 7 to 3 स्कूल जाते थे और वहां पे पूरा क्रिकेट इधर उधर. वो टाइम पे ये इंटरनेट उतना नहीं था, फोन पे फोन वोन नहीं था हमारे को. हम लोग उतने पुराने के जमाने नहीं है. But we used to go to school in the 2000s. So at that time we still have to find ways. Crick Info, we used to go to the security.
I'm not lying. There were days where हमला जब I remember India पाकिस्तान चल रहा था, इरफान पठान जब ऑन रोल था, मैं बस खड़ी हुई थी बाहर, मैं लाइट ले लिया, मेरा नहीं जा रहा अपना मैच देखना है. तो I mean there have been those days as well, and like Mustafa rightly mentioned, अपना इतने भी बोला, but Crick Info was our only source of. अभी क्या है आजकल के?
Now it's easier. So whether you're the busiest guy in the world or you're not, cricket is cricket. If you're passionate about the game and if your country is playing, you'll watch it, man. Like it's not a thing. A football World Cup, yeah, it's small, shorter games, but you have 4 games in a day, so it adds up, right? So
exactly, and like Chirag bhai is saying, I mean I used to be the one who used to provide the score updates in the team meeting. I used to be like, India खेल रहा, बहुत जल्दी करो भाई, विराट कोहली फायर पे, चलो 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 चलो, हो गया मीटिंग खत्म, कल कल कल. So I mean I've been there, log in करके mostly आज तो लोग सो भी जा रहे थे. I'm pretty sure when the World Cup comes, it's basically like, अरे भाई what's trending, and when something is trending, and the World Cup will always trend, people will come, man. People will.
Bro, I remember the India Bangladesh. I was in university, and I think it was my last year of university. तुम्हारे मैसेज आ रहे थे, 2-3 मैसेज आ रहे थे, and I was in class. I had to attend those classes. Some classes you can attend, and some you don't need to attend, right? Like lectures. But that class, I remember, it was a tutorial, so you have to attend it. So I was in UFT in Canada, and it came to a stage where Bangladesh were running riot, and like पूरा ऊपर नीचे चल रहा था, Bangladesh were running riot. मेरे को इतना स्ट्रेस हो गया. I told the thing, I have a family thing, I need to go, like or I'm not feeling well. I said like I have a sore throat, I need to go check the doctor out. They said go, and there's only 15 minutes left for the class, but I left, sat in my car, and I just waited for you to message, and then I saw that message.
If Mustafa's wale sahab will watch this stream, देखे मैं कुछ भी नहीं करा, मुस्तफा करा.
Then I ran. कॉलेज में सारे देसी थे भाई, देसी तो हर जगह, कनाडा रहने दो, इंग्लैंड रहने दो, अमेरिका रहने दो, देसी हर जगह रहते. I ran to the multi-purpose hall, वहां पे मैच चल रहा था. I didn't have the guts to go there at that time. I ran and started celebrating. I saw the run out like that, and bam, man, that was incredible. So yeah, sports is always first, man. जितना भी important in those situations,
the moments and the bragging rights and those moments that you get from sports. I mean, like someone was having an interesting conversation with me earlier today, and they were like, sports कितना कहीं को इतना आप लोग sports से लगे हुए, I said it's just those moments that आपका पूरा टेंशन निकाल देता. आप उन लोगों के लिए टेंशन लेते जो आपके लिए कुछ करते नहीं, लेकिन एक homely feeling
टेंशन बढ़ जाता है.
And I think I don't know them from Adam, but it's just that love and support that they get, and that sort of feeling of, I mean, compassionate भी हो जाता हूँ मैं उन लोगों के लिए, सब हो जाता हूँ मैं, it's like घर वाले बन जाते हैं मेरे लिए. But it's just because sports actually does that to you. आप support करते करते रहो, lows and highs में, जब high होती तो आप इतना खुश हो जाते, but lows होती तो आप irritated भी होते. It's basically अपने घर की बात हो जाती है वो, and that's what sports does to me.
Yeah, and whether watching it or playing it, the emotions that you have is just incredible, and you learn a lot, man. You learn a lot from football. Look at
I remember very clearly 2007 का जो final था, Mustafa and me were on the phone for like a brief period, and then he was saying I was having heart issues. He went to his parents' room, and he was actually, you told me this, कि मैं नमाज पढ़ रहा था, लेकिन मेरा दिल इतना पूरा धक मार रहा था कि I was not able to focus.
The 2007 one, I was sweating cold, like it was, and my dad started shouting at me. He's like, "इतना पागल है तुम तबीयत तुम्हारी ऐसा कर ले रहे तुम." वो है
Yeah.
14-15 साल के और ऐसा कर रहे, जस्ट अ मैच, हू केयर्स, ये वो भी स्ट्रेस थे थोड़ा अंदर। वो जाके सब स्ट्रेस थे वो दिन, कुछ भी नहीं कर सकते।
वो तो अलग
OD,
था।
ODI won't have Super League stakes. It will just be based on rankings for qualification of 2027 World Cup. I think top 8 or 10 ranked teams at certain date will get direct qualification. I mean, that's great knowledge. I did not know this, but for me right now it's all about the 2023. But yeah, it's good to know these kind of things. I did
चिराग
not.
भाई, as मेरी कंपनी में half of the team was on sick leave on India Pakistan. Man, India Pakistan is another thing. Like अब मैं दुबई में, जब मैं और मुस्तफा भाई देखे थे मैच भाई, हम लोग we were probably the only two supporters in that place where we went to this restaurant cafe, and like we were like two people and they were like पूरे पाकिस्तानी थे और एक और दो थे, एंड हमारे जो दो साथ के थे इंडियंस, उनला सर्च करना शुरू कर दिए थे, और इतना बड़ा लाइक हॉस्टाइल माहौल हो गया था। ऐसा जॉन सीना रॉयल रमल में घुसता, पूरे उसको देखते हुए पसीना हो गया था। और भाई आई एम टेलिंग चिराग भाई, इट वाज समथिंग एल्स। लाइक लोग हमारे को देख रहे थे और
वो
हम लोग
इंडिया
तालियां,
पाकिस्तान का नहीं था मैच।
नहीं इवन इन इंडिया, सॉरी, इंडिया इंग्लैंड, आई मीन
इंग्लैंड पाकिस्तान,
पाकिस्तान, या
इमेजिन इंडिया पाकिस्तान था
yeah,
अगर।
imagine India. Yeah, sorry, it was Pakistan and England final, and we were. I was wearing a light blue T-shirt, and फिर भी looks there, and it was just messed up.
No, I went to Asia Cup, India Pakistan, both matches this year, and I really enjoyed it. I think just the camaraderie between the between the two fans, culture भी वही, गाने भी वही, खाना भी वही, like बहुत incredible था। और जो गाने play कर रहे थे right before the game, in between the game, बहुत मजा आ रहा था with the Pakistani fans. Like there was blue, green, there was everything. Indian Pakistani fans just having a lot of fun. You saw that also clips in Melbourne as well. That was incredible to see how they were.
Yeah,
I think they danced to one of Sukinder song,
East
no,
song.
Sukhbir. So, oh ho, that song they
Yeah,
were dancing
Sukhbir.
to both.
Yeah, Sukhbir Singh.
So yeah, some good stuff there. 2011 वर्ल्ड कप में सचिन के आउट होते ही मेरे दोस्त भगवान का प्रसाद बोल दिया था इंडिया जीतने पर। देखो ऐसा सब होता है, लाइक सब ऊपर वाले से मांगते जब स्ट्रेस होता है, और ये खासतौर स्पोर्ट्स में होता है, खासतौर जब आपकी टीम खेलती है, लाइक एवरीवन लाइक जस्ट डोंट नो व्हाट टू डू, दे स्टार्ट प्रेइंग, एंड इट्स इनक्रेडिबल टू सी हाउ दैट हैपेंस. Hopefully we get to see a great year of cricket, and a lot of emotions and a lot of cliffhangers.
Yeah, I can't wait now. Like based on this conversation, I can't wait for next year, and like
Yeah.
IPL भी जब आएगा भाई, it will be banter city. Hopefully on chasing the target, where one is coming from Mumbai, we're from Hyderabad, Ashish is from Punjab, Vinay is from I think Kolkata Knight Riders, and everyone is just going to get into it, man. And I
I
hope
would just say
everyone
one
goes
thing,
with the.
like banter करते रहो, हार जीत रहे तो मैं उतना like मत लो. Like I know it's hard to say, right? Like as you get older, you'll understand more. But
दिल
if
पे
you're
नहीं
younger,
लेना.
it's a bit difficult to understand. मगर उतना मत upset हो, like don't let it ruin your day. But
एक और
Mike,
चीज याद रखो, बैंटर में इतना भी मत बोलो कि भाई बाद में तुम्हारे कूल लग जाती.
मगर नहीं बोलो, जो भी करना है बोलो, मगर विद इन लिमिट्स कभी कभी. एंड ऑल्सो who am I to say, man, जब मैं like छोटा था, I used to take it too seriously. So like yeah, just do you think ODI World Cup format should change? The ICC are changing it to 14 teams in 2 groups, 7 top 3 qualify for top 6.
No, it's actually not bad. More countries to look forward to,
But
but again, it'll be a bit more easier. अगर Oman US ऐसे टीम आ गए तो फिर मजा नहीं आएगा.
I want the 2011-2015 format. I want quarterfinals. I just like it.
Yeah.
Just increases the intensity, it increases the pressure, the tension, everything, because knockout हो जाता. अब इसमें क्या होता? But the most fair format is the 2019 one, because you're playing everybody once. And think now, but now it's increasing to 14 teams, so you'll have 2 different groups. So again, if it's 2 different groups, then have quarterfinals. Why are you having round robin or round of 6 जो भी है? Have a quarterfinal, man, and go लगातार knockout. Put
Yeah, I
pressure
think
on.
वही knockout का एक अलग ड्रामा रहता है. और someone setback हो जाता.
Quarterfinal should be back. Yeah, if it's back, then it'll be incredible, man. I love to see a quarterfinal. 96, I was too young, but I watched that on YouTube extended highlights when Jadeja went crazy. I think Bangladesh, they beat England in the 2015 quarter. 2011 quarterfinal, New Zealand upset South Africa. South Africa were the best team in that World Cup. They beat India also in 2011. So some good upsets in the quarterfinal, and that's why you don't want it, because you want the best teams. So that's why you have this round robin format. But quarterfinal just brings the excitement. It puts you on your toes.
And a dramatic change in events, right? You expect this team to go up, like, and then एकदम से फटाक, पूरे क्या बोलते वो, ओ भाई मुझे मारो, वैसा वाला सिचुएशन हो जाता. जज्बात हालात यूं ही पलट जाते पूरे. तो यार वैसे कुछ काइंड ऑफ सिचुएशन हो जाता.
Super Six, but
Super
not for
Six.
2023. After 23, it will change. Yeah, I don't know, man. So I think
But
this
yeah,
World Cup, Ibrahim bhai, is going to be the same as 2019, right? If you can reconfirm that. But yeah, let's talk about it when we get closer to the time. I think that pretty much wraps it up, Fez. Have a happy new year. See you
Happy New Year, sir.
in 2023. Take care of yourself. Take care to everybody as well. Join us tomorrow. We'll take a break. Day after, we will be back with cricketing action. We look forward to the India Sri Lanka series. We look forward to the other two test series going on right now, and some big bash and whatever else is going on in terms of cricket. We'll look at that. So take care, guys. Have a great end of the year. Have a great night, and catch you on the flip side.